guys, rock and roll. So we're back again, back in the airbrushing. Going to do some undercoating now. I'm going to undercoat these boys, or start to anyway. I'm using this contraption in here to see if we can get it going, this little spinny thing on top of that spinny thing, which is really cool to see if we've got a little bit of turning here. Now, the first thing, so I'm using Vallejo Negro Black Gloss. Right, it's hard to see here because I also use this as a mount to paint my miniature on. So at least it doesn't chip the crap out of my base like the Games Workshop holder, miniature holder. So, you know, all good, but that's that one. And just make sure you shake the absolute crap out of this. Alright, I've actually been shaking this bottle for the last 5 minutes while I've been running around grabbing stuff, okay? So, I've also got my Michael Jackson one glove, right, which I'm going to be using to hold the miniature and everything. I like to work with one glove on, one hand free of gloves. So I hold the airbrush with the hand that's free of gloves, and I have one glove on to either hold the mini or move them around or do whatever to manipulate the models, pretty much. So that's pretty much how I work. So yeah, next thing is I've changed my airbrush to a larger cup. Right, so just so we've got a bit of extra paint in there. I haven't gone with the big boy because it's just not that much. We don't need that much, but I don't want to be using a precision airbrush here, and the reason is because I want that, you know, I want that spread here, especially with these Forgeworld models. It's very, very important that we have the spread. Now, what I'll do is I'll probably make this a separate video, I've decided, because I think it's just going to make the other video too long, and you know, I want to try shorten the videos a little bit. We'll keep the huge 2-hour videos in for the, you know, for the reviews and that. I want to try to keep these tutorials down to like 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops, okay? So the other thing I've got going on is this Tamiya Airbrush Cleaner. Well, it's not actually cleaner, it's thinner, right? And I use this just to lubricate my airbrush a little bit and just test it out, make sure that it's working before I actually put the paint in. Now, this Vallejo liquid gloss will actually settle very quickly down the bottom, right? So I want to give that a bit of a shake before I go through. So I'm just going to test this out, guys. Just make sure that, like, you know, there's no blockage in my airbrush or anything like that. Looks fine. Lubricates the tip a little bit. Just cleans a little bit of gunk out there. Just make sure you don't spray it on your models, right? This backdrop thing will lubricate it anyway, will suck the water in, so suck it out my models. You really don't want that stuff landing on your models because nothing's going to stick to it then. This stuff's a little bit temperamental. This is always a challenge on Forgeworld because of the resin. The primers tend to have a lot more trouble sticking, but there's nothing a little bit of technique can't handle. So once again, look, so I've cleaned it. It's all good, lubricated a bit. But I'm just going to throw just tiny little bit in here, in the brush, just to lubricate it a bit more. So when it goes through, oh, that's way too much. Anyway, that's okay. I'm just gonna. That's all right. It just means I clean my brush out a little bit more. Right. So, oh, that's heaps. So I just back feed it a little bit. All right. Going through, I just want to like tiny little bit in here, just so it's like a tiniest little bit like inside the nozzle. I don't know if you can see that, it might be a little bit hard, but you probably just see in there's like the tiniest little bit floating around in there, okay? Okay, one final shake for the Vallejo Negro gloss. Now the reason I'm using this Negro gloss is for two reasons. Number one, it's glossy and we're using metallic paint. So any paint that I'm using that's going to be metallic, I'm going to use this, even silver, all right? So what it will do is it'll actually help the shine come through on the next layer for the metallics. Now, it'll only help about 12%. Even that, I'm kind of a little bit debatable on. But what it will help me with is the way that I apply my first layer. I like to apply it on very, very, very fine. So I get a lot of that sort of black underneath, which helps with the shadow. So, like, I do go through null oil my models, but I also like to have a little bit of variance in there as well. Now, these models are a little bit too small for pre-shading, and also because metallics as well, the way this paint works, it's very hard to thin it. So pre-shading's kind of, it's a little bit redundant. I wouldn't say it's out of the question. You could do it, but I'm keen, but I'm not that keen. You're not really going to see much pre-shade. There's nothing we can't do with washes and just general airbrushing here, guys. So anyway, just going to make sure that it's all good. Pour this guy in here. So be very careful. All right, that's nice consistency. This paint here, you basically like don't really need to thin it much. As long as you give it a mad shake, it'll be sweet. All right, and the way we're going to apply it anyway is very, 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 very weak. So again, never spray directly onto the models. I might just do like just a little bit so that you can see more of my airbrush. Never spray directly like on the models, right, straight away. Always just test it out a little bit first. Make sure you get a little bit of work out your consistency, if there's any clogging or anything like that. But that's looking pretty good, all right? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go through and I will pick these up individually next time, like one at a time, and spray them. But right now, I just want to do like an overall sort of spray. So my consistency is good. I start spraying off the turntable, very light power, and just literally just start going around like this on the models. Alright, so like, now, it is expensive on the paint, right? But on these models, I really want them to look good, so I'm happy to use the budget. Right, and then just stop. And then give it a second, let the paint sort of settle down a little bit, right? Alright, there we go again. A bit more power, just spinning it, just nice and consistent. Alright, nice and consistent. Like I said, we don't want it too thick. Make sure you keep your brush. Make sure you keep your airbrush like 15 to 20 centimeters away. Absolute minimum, alright? Because we want to keep the detail on this model, because I have a feeling that the color shifting paint is going to be extremely thick as it is, so we don't want to lose detail on our model. Alright, so looks like I might have a clog. That sucks. Might have to thin that a little bit. Nah, he's good. When you get a bit of a clog like that, guys, just keep smashing your airbrush, like back and forth, like I'm doing here. Just unclog it, you know, just get it going. If it starts to get too bad, just click off the models, because what you'll find will happen is you'll go through and basically what will happen is that your airbrush will just unclog directly on it. It could be as well, I'm just going to check the tip. There might have been some residual, yeah, there's a lot of build up here on the tip, so just clean that out. Okay, check that, that's looking alright, so cool. But that's good, it's alright, because it's giving the models a little bit of time to dry. Alright, so there we go. Alright. Just nice, just keep spraying it on. Alright, we want a few layers anyway. That's just the way this paint works. This is the way Forgeworld works as well. Alright, we're gonna have to have a few coats of this. It's not gonna work just with one coat. All right, we're gonna have to do a few rounds. The more we can do, the more detail we save. Right, and what I do is I just go into these little circles. Right, these little circles like that, which is helping to spread the paint out and stopping it from clunking up in different areas. Right? Alright, so that's looking pretty cool on this angle now. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to change the angle of the models. Right, so that we get a little bit of a different angle on them. And then I'm going to come up from the top, grab them from the top. Again, notice how I'm spraying off. Always start off. Alright, just little circles, just sort of going around. Alright, we want that natural build-up of paint. Alright, don't get too thick with it. If there's white coming through, that is okay. We can come back to that, alright? But don't, whatever you do, don't let this paint become too, build up too much. Alright? Cool. Alright. So it looks like I'm going to need to top it up a little bit more. Alright, and I'm just going to put a little bit of thinner in here. I think we're going to need it because I shook that paint a fair bit. So it's nice and thick, so yeah, we're going to need a bit of thinner in there. I'm going to maybe flush the airbrush a little bit. There you go, just flush, just lubricate that. Backfeed it a little bit, just lubricate that a bit. Alright, so a little bit of thinner, a little bit more thinner. This is great though, guys, because it's going to give the models time to rest. Alright, paint to dry on a little bit on one layer. Oh, that's way too much. That's alright. Not the best thinner, that stuff, but I like it because it's cheaper in bulk and you can just like, go nuts with it. So really what I should be doing is spraying this out the window, but whatever. Yeah, that'll happen. All good. Alright, so just letting it sort of go through. This is a little bit too much thinner. So I want to make sure there's no blockages, alright, in there. I want a nice clean dispersal this time, like a pone. Basically just go through there, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and that's enough. Okay. Now, we're going to go through, put a little bit more of this in. Yeah, it's actually very thick. It's thicker than what I thought. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the tip and just backfeed it just a little bit. Just put some air through there, not too much so it like, you know, blows out everywhere. But just enough so it mixes. It's like auto mixing. Alright, I probably should give it a stir as well in there, but I don't really think I need to. Alright, that's looking bad. That's looking good. Alright, let's go. Let's hit it again. Alright, just going around the models. Building up that paint. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Alright, that's coming out really nice now. I'm just going to stand up. I'm just going to have to stand up over the top of the models now. Alright. Get those goodies. Gotta reload. That's just the way this stuff goes, guys. We want a really nice thin undercoat. Really nice and thin. We don't want to wreck our awesome models. If it's thin, it doesn't matter. We can always add more paint, yeah? As long as it's not watery thin. But if it's thick, it's a lot harder to fix. Alright, so it's going to come up more here. Yeah, I'm just changing my technique a little bit here. I'm just gliding across. You can see how this Forgeworld stuff has a mad time with sticking on, sorry, the paint has a mad time of sticking on the Forgeworld finish. Alright, but now I can go through, I can start just getting a little bit closer because I've got a little bit more detail. So I'm just coming in about maybe 15 centimeters, 10 centimeters away. Just coming in there, polishing it up. Alright, and I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to let it dry for about a minute or so, or just a few seconds anyway. And it's starting to look very nice. Okay? So this stuff will dry, and it's going to look pretty fantastic. And the Vallejo paint will do a really good job. It will actually shrink into the model a little bit, not so much as the MIG, but it will still do a really good job. All right, so I'm thinking I'm just going to go a little bit closer now. Short control bursts, just little taps. All right, I'm just trying to hit these areas where there's a little bit more paint, but I do not want to go over the areas because there's some areas like the bottom of the legs that are really well done. So I just want to like tap it in. Just whoop, whoop, whoop. Just be careful of that as well, because you don't want to get like fingerprints and stuff on the model. You'll wreck the finish. So you probably just see my elbow. All right, so I'm being very precise now. Coming into the model, just getting in those, check those corners, right there in the side of the head, just one-shotting, right, in areas that the paint has had trouble, but very, very light one shot, right, because we don't want to wreck the detail. All right, so that's it, and we stop. Right, we're going to stop right there. We're going to give it a couple of seconds just to dry out. All right, you can see here, you're looking at the models. We'll see how we're going for focus. Yeah, so you can see here we're looking at the models, and they're actually quite nice. Quite well done. So we're preserving a lot of detail. All right, and that's what we want. All right, that's what we want. I can start to see those scales popping up now. All right, and I dare say, I think honestly, this is all I'm going to do for the batching here. Now, as well, the other good thing is I've kept them on the base because it gets a little bit of a bonus. Because the base gets undercoated. I will be doing other stuff with the bases. These are nearly done, by the way, guys. There's that rock. I'm thinking it's a rock. I could probably just paint that black. It's not going to worry too much. This guy here. This is a cape. I'm just thinking. Yeah, look, I'm probably better off not doing it gloss black because I don't want to, it's going to be hard for shadows and that if it's a matte surface. So that's just basically that, like that. So cool. Alright, just inspecting the models now. I'm just going to start picking the models up. Should be alright now to start to pick up. Just be very careful though. Don't touch the models, just check them out. They're pretty good. But I am going to just give them a touch up because there are some points and everything like underneath the model that might need a little bit of love, right? So, because I've come down from the top, but I want to sort of come down from the bottom now. So I'll hold the model upside down. And again, just tap it in. Just give it a one shot, but just be very, very careful. We do not want to lose detail. We've gone through all this effort to keep detail. We don't want to lose it. And what I should probably do, I'm wrecking the finish on my bases there. I shouldn't do that. I should be sticking it on something. Yeah, whatever. Like, that's okay. It's okay. So, yeah, I'll fix that up later on. But yeah, just stick them on some. Just gonna come out, just tap it in. See, like under the arm there. Right, you don't see it, but it can come back to bite you in the bum if a little bit later on, if you don't get under there, like with shadowing and stuff like that. I might lose this guy. Hang on a second. Be very, very careful not to touch the model too much, because he's still drying. But he's alright. It's Alpha Legion anyway, so he'll be right. Cool. And next one, just come underneath. Give it a one shot underneath. Yeah, generally, look, I would actually usually just wait like about an hour before doing this, to be honest. But because I want to get this section of the tutorial done, I'm not waiting. So just want to get in there, side of his head. Alright, he's good. Again, guys, doesn't have to be perfect. So like maybe a bit on the side here. Just light taps, guys, like semi-automatic style, you know? So you can see there, like, there's heaps of it underneath that didn't get done, which is going to cause me issues later on if I don't reconcile that now. Keep it in mind, guys, you can also come in here with a brush at a later stage, and we might have to just to like patch it up just a little bit. We would rather do that than stuff the detail. You can always come in there with some Nuln oil, or like even, whoa, look at that. Look at these heaps. So we can always come in there with some Nuln oil a little bit later, and shadow that up a little bit more. And the other thing is too that the yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine. You want to preserve the detail. You can always add more paint. Always add more. Oh, that sucks. That's annoying. Alright, I've got like one guy to go. I'm going to have to reload. Tiny little bit in there. Alright, so yeah, see how my like fingers are sticking on that a little bit. I should have propped it up on something else or waited, but like I said, I want to get this video done. Many other things to do, many other videos to make. Come on, man, I just need a little, oh, so that's what you got to avoid. That's exactly what I was talking about. But that's alright. It's I was lucky because it was on an angle coming from downwards, so it's not going to matter too much. Okay. The models are starting to dry up now anyway. That's the only problem with it. There we go, okay. I think I did him already. Let me just check. So it's good to hold him now. You could use a little bit more. Alright, wonderful. That gets annoying. Need some more tack. Nah, stuff it. Sit on there. There you go. It's dry enough now, so it's not going to matter too much. I will have to just hit that foot a little bit more. There we go. Just hitting up in those scales there. Very important I get those scales up in that top area because that's where I'm going to want a lot of the shadow to go. Just keep those bursts short, guys, so that if something does stuff up, you don't end up with a whole bunch of paint on the model. Alright, so I believe that's it. I'm dry. So I'll just prop him back up there. There we go. Alright. Wonderful. So those guys are looking good. Nice and undercoated. They're looking quite shiny as well. Very nice, very even. We had a few misdemeanors, a few little trip ups, but all in all, I think it's a good day's work. And we can see here how we've got that natural specular coming across the model. Right, I just want to remind you guys that this is the undercoat. This is going to pop. Yeah, I'm going to have to clean this well. It does tend to clog pretty easy, this stuff. But that's okay. That's what this stuff does. But it looks awesome. So I don't care because it looks awesome. And what you'll find is the more you sort of go in here with this, the more it dries, the more shiny it's going to get, and the more awesome it looks. The more specular you get out of it. Specular is a CG term, by the way. Let's clean that out a bit. So, yeah. Now, what you can do is you can also go and varnish these directly after you undercoat them, which is not a bad idea. I'm not obviously going to do it now because it's still very early for varnishing. But what that does is, by varnishing the models now, after you've undercoating it, when you're working with them later, it just stops stuff from chipping off, or if it does chip off, you get black instead of going directly down to that grey sort of colour. What I will do, guys, I'm just going to undercoat these parts matte just really quickly. So I've just got this, again, Negro black surface primer from Vallejo. This is not gloss though, this is matte. This is not shiny stuff. I'm just going to put some of that in here. It doesn't really matter about this stuff, guys. This is just like the little bit. We've definitely got a bit of a clog there. It's alright. Come on. I'm going to have to clean it out. Looks like I've got a bit of a clog. Yep, I can see it. Nozzle clog. I could try to thin it up a little bit. I should have probably thinned it up a little bit before I chucked it in, to be honest. There we go, that is sweet. This is what the glove comes in handy for. It just allows me to like grab it, go onto it, hold it. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. It's a rock. We're going to come in and just paint this whole, like, I mean, I don't even know if we're going to use this, so, but it's here, so I may as well come in here and undercoat it just very quickly. Quite a thick undercoat there, lose a bit of detail, but it's all good. Now the cape I have to be a little bit more careful because this has got to be smooth. So I don't want to get like fingerprints on here. You guys can't see anything. Holy crap, I'm just going to have to come out a little bit on that. So where did I put this stuck to tap? It's over here, move over here. Yeah, the cape I've got to do a little bit more carefully. I don't know what colour I'm going to make it, so I'm thinking maybe it might be best off to undercoat this guy white Yeah. Yeah, what I'll do, I'll quickly just waste the paint out on this Primaris Marine, because I don't want to like throw out paint. So I get some of this paint out on him. Doesn't have to be perfect, but like I say, I don't want to waste paint, so I'd rather it go on the model. We all know this stuff is not cheap. Just trying to avoid the avoid that cape there as much as I can. Yeah, definitely gonna have to give this a bit of a poke. Yeah, you want to avoid that, but that's okay. It's not too bad. Yeah, nah, he's good. He's good. All right, what can I stir this with? I'm gonna stuff the model if I keep going like this. Oh no, no, not that. We're going to use this. Oh, give me a crappy brush. Just going to give it a bit of a stir. Yeah, nah, I'm going to have to clean it. Not going to get away with it that time. All good, so I'll just clean the rest of it out. And really with him, I should have undercoated him. I should undercoat all those guys together anyway, so it's all good. But anyway, you can see the difference. I'm just going to move these guys over. And you can see the difference in tone and shine between the two. Right, so you can see like I know that guy's not really undercoated much, but you can just see that the reflection coming off those guys as well there, so it's pretty cool. Alright, and I'll finish that Primaris a little bit later. I'm going to clean this airbrush out. Doesn't look like it's going to cooperate. And this cloak, I'm just going to quickly just undercoat that cloak white. Now, that will be with MIG. I think I got my MIG white up there. Just give me a sec, guys. Yeah. One shot primer. MIG white. I don't have water on me here, so I'm just going to change airbrush completely just to get this thing undercoated white. Superior undercoat this stuff, love it. Not even going to bother thinning it. Oh, actually maybe just a little bit. Just be careful not to contaminate that stuff. Just want to get this done as quick as I can so I can clean that other airbrush. Yeah, this primer is, when it comes out of the bottle, is really good. Oh, there you go. I've got to unwrap it. You gotta shrink. It shrink wraps around the model. It's just absolutely fantastic. I would have loved to use it on those guys, but unfortunately, it's not glossy. You can see how milky that is, and what lovely consistency that is, just out of the box. It's so beautiful, this stuff. Look at that, just wham bam. Anyway, so we'll get these guys out of the way and just give this a very quick undercoat here. Look at that, boom, done. Oh, you can't, hang on a second. Literally 2 shots and it's done. And you wait and see like how awesome this MIG stuff like just wraps around the model. It's absolutely fantastic. I just want to be careful not to get white on those guys there. Literally just done. 2 little shots. Look at that. Just flip that around, doesn't matter. It's in the inside anyway. Didn't even stick on my hand, look. Barely. Look at that. Look at that. Lovely stuff. Alright, just gonna be careful with the splatter, but that's alright. It's undercoat, so that happens when your paint's a little bit too thin, guys, right? So, which it is, and my pressure's up a little bit, but like I said, that's not going to affect the model. And this stuff is so good that who gives a crap? Absolutely wonderful. That'll do it. Just maybe just a little bit in here. Wonderful. Alright. Yeah, so luckily, like, that's not going to really matter too much for us once we paint over that. But just for future reference, just be careful of that. That was a bit of a boo-boo there. It's just because I'm rushing. I want to get this stuff on the edit. Alright, I'll just prop that up there like that. You're not going to see underneath it anyway, so who cares? Alright, but there you go, that's undercoated. The rock's undercoated. Yep, just remember to pop the lid back on my fantastic MIG one shot. Damn, I love that undercoat. And yeah, like we're ready to go. Alright everybody, so that's the undercoating Forgeworld minus this guy, which I'll finish him later when I batch out the rest of the Primaris. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you find anything of value here, please like and subscribe. Click the little red subscribe button, click the little bell notification as well down below if you want to keep up to date with these tutorials. And yeah, alright everybody, fantastic. I'm Steve. Oh, and I will see you in the next video.